Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. These are the seventh and final words of Jesus before he breathed his last breath on the cross. Undoubtedly, Jesus knew and acknowledged that his final moments on earth would not last for long. He was clearly aware of the mission that he was living on earth and would now fulfill, so that he trusted and surrendered his body and his soul to the Father. He willingly and freely gave his life for the salvation of the world. Clearly, on the cross, Jesus alone had the authority to end his own life. He was not helpless at the hands of those who crucified him. His life was not forcibly taken by anyone. No, it was given to the world as a ransom for many souls. And yes, Jesus gave himself into death so that the descendants of the first parents would be saved from sin and its consequences. He fulfilled the plan of his Father for him as a constant reflection of love and care of his Father for the world. As a matter of fact, at the point of death on the cross, and before handing over his spirit to the Father, Jesus could have exerted his divine authority to take himself off the cross and to remain alive. He could have used his divine power to fight against the soldiers and those who were torturing and persecuting him. He could have disobeyed his Father's will, but he chose not to do so. Rather, Jesus intentionally decided not to hold on to life of the earthly world. He chose to follow his Father's will instead of his fleshly desire, so that his Father's promise to the first parents in the Eden Garden could be fulfilled. In this way, the love and mercy of his Father could be manifested through his passion, his death, and then his resurrection. Obviously, the story of Jesus did not end on Good Friday, when Jesus committed his spirit into the hands of the Father by saying, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." But it was just the beginning of new life. This life would open hope for those who believe in and follow Jesus. Indeed, if there were no Good Friday, where Jesus had committed his spirit to his Father and died for our sin, there would never have been an Easter Sunday. If there were no battle, there would be no victory. If there were no one to save, there would be no Savior. And if there were no death of Jesus, there would be no resurrection and no new and everlasting life for mankind. Yes, Jesus, through his whole life on earth, always sought and followed his Father's will. And even at the last moments on the cross, he consciously and entirely surrendered his body and soul to his Father. He expressed trust and confidence in God's plan for him. He set a perfect example of how we as Christians should entrust our lives to God, even in the most difficult times and even in the face of death. Having meditated on the last 7 words of Jesus from the cross, let us, as sons and daughters of God, follow the footsteps of Jesus to give and entrust ourselves to God in any circumstances. Let us also submit ourselves to God's will and acknowledge that our lives are in God's hands, and know that God's plans are better than ours, and that God will guide us on the path that He has chosen for us. Entrusting everything to God, we together in one voice say with Jesus, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit.